Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to generational farming. For those who are new to what we're doing here, I haven't shared that in a little while. So what we're doing is we are running a competition in FSN, which is Farm Simulator Network. And it's a group of online servers that we play on. But the generational farming servers are a unique competition in that there's a small group of us, I think there were about 24 people at last count, that are playing in a way that we work across multiple generations. Everything in this competition is a bit random as far as the settings, so it's 7 to 10 generations, and each generation is between 2 to 10 years on that generation. We are in the second generation now. We are heading into year 5. This is the winter of year 4, so we'll be ending up here. I am actually going up to rent a spreader to go ahead and put lime on the field. Per the process I'm using now, that's something I need to do annually. But financially, it's less expensive to lease a piece of equipment like that than it is to buy it, since we are only able to move 3 pieces of equipment from one generation to the next. So that obviously requires some strategy in figuring out what you want to do, because you're not able to do several things, which adds some intrigue to it, that's for certain. The goal of generational farming is singular, and that is be worth the most at the end. So accumulate the most income or the most money over those generations, whether it's 7 to 10 that we run before the competition is deemed complete. So my decision in this case is to just run a lot of grass. So that has been what I have been doing pretty actively. And at least in the first generation, it appears to be a winning strategy. I was second out of the group at that point. And I would say I'm still likely to maintain a position pretty far up. There's obviously folks who can work harder, work more time, but you're just going to have to, if you're not doing grass, put in a lot more effort. So the person who's in first, to my knowledge, is doing grass. They're just doing a lot of it. And I think this is really mostly their only farming simulator time. I could be wrong. They could just spend, I don't know, every waking moment of their life in some format of farming simulator. But given the amount of time I need to spend just to run 20 acres, I can only imagine what they need to spend running significantly more than that. You know, there's some other features that are involved in the competition. I'll talk about those as they come up, as they make sense, because there's some decisions we need to make at the end of the year, for example, and we'll deal with that when or not the end of the year, but at the end of the generation. So we'll deal with that once we go to Generation 3, and we're starting to make that decision. But as of now, no announcements yet that this is ending, so likely at least a couple more years here, because they're supposed to give us a year's notice, and we've typically moved right around this time. So I would assume that if they haven't told us by now, that we'll get through year 5, which means we'll get into year 6. So I think we're here for at least a couple more years. Alright, so as always, I'm going to lease this spreader, kind of configured for the widest spread and the most capacity. You can usually get everything we need done well under an hour, so that 2773 is all we need to do at any point in time. Sometimes we've got things laying around. I would say pretty often we've got things laying around here at the store, so it looks like someone's got silage additive that is sitting around. So I try to post these videos for generational farming as much in real time as I can, and real time, you know, still is obviously relative to some degree, in that I'm not streaming these and so forth. I'm just going ahead and recording them and then edit them up and post them as soon as I can afterwards. So that's kind of as close to real time as I can. I usually work pretty hard to get them up the same day. So there was one from yesterday that I worked really late into the night. I think that probably posted almost certainly after midnight, because I don't think I even got off the server till it was nearly midnight, and then by the time it processed and uploaded, I'm sure it didn't go live till then. So in theory, there's 2 episodes today, because this one will get put up. But that's usually the exception of the rule, unless I'm doing something significantly unique, because I think that might just be a little too much focus. I usually, if I know I'm going to be doing things, I try to kind of at least lump everything together and maybe take longer to get through the day. But this is all I have to do at this point today, other than continue to sell silage. And so I'm probably going to do the normal thing I do, which is not worry about showing the constant trickle of selling that I'm doing to keep the silos going. So I'm going to do that, but at this point I'm going to go lime my grass, get that ready for another year, and that'll be it. So that gets you up to speed, and I'll see you next time.